Make sure you have your wipers, you know, pretty high considering how much rain you're going through. Certain areas I've seen may have very little rain, so it may not be that much of a big deal, but definitely through the city right now, the rain's coming on pretty good.
Okay. Now, earlier today, I know you went to the scene of a crash.
Yes.
Was it rainy conditions like this when you headed out there?
Yes, it was raining, pretty much just like this. And what I witnessed, just coming up on the scene, was it was two cars involved, and one of the cars seemed like there was no damage at all, but one car was actually deep into a wooded embankment. And from what I saw and how things seemed between the officers on scene and the other driver who was not in the car that was crashed, it seemed like what simply happened may have been, now this is all just like based on what I saw, this isn't, you know, confirmed or anything. Since there was no contact, it may have just been, you know, one driver trying to get out of the way of the other driver, and you know, you get on those slippery roads and trying to overcorrect, you may find yourself overcorrecting too much and possibly putting yourself in more danger.
And now, what area was that crash in?
So that crash was on around the intersection of North Germantown and I think it was Menlo Street. Yes, Menlo Street. So North Germantown and Menlo Street. And so from what I saw, it was just a simple case of one driver trying to be a little, you know, defensive, but not as defensive as they should have been on this dark, cold, and wet morning.
Understood. And of course, we're going to continue to keep you all updated. We definitely reached out to law enforcement to find more information about that crash, and we will have those updates online and on our Facebook page once we get them. We are currently driving down East MLK Boulevard right now, getting into the downtown area of Chattanooga. Again, there's not many trees in this area to begin with, but we are not seeing any branches or trees down. Did you see any trees down this morning, Logan?
I did not. I did not see any trees down, but when I got closer to where the news station is located, I did see a couple branches down in those wooded areas where, you know, a lot of people don't drive, and maybe just some back roads. But those branches were not causing any, like, you know, hazards on the street. They were on rather the side of the street, you know, off to the right, not causing any kind of roadway hazard. But another thing, just keep an eye out for those heavily wooded areas, especially if those wooded areas do not have lampposts lighting the street. Because you may not see those things whenever you're, you know, coming around the corner or anything like that until you're like right up on it. So I would just keep an eye out for things like that, especially in those heavily wooded areas.
Brandon, definitely we were expecting a little bit more down trees. I know I heard the wind last night. I was trying to go to sleep and that wind was singing for sure. But I'm happy to see that we don't have many trees down in the downtown area. Again, to begin with, there's not many trees in this area anyway. But we've been all around Chattanooga this morning and we haven't seen much of anything. Maybe a couple of branches here and there, but we're doing pretty well on the streets here in Chattanooga. Just as always, be cautious. The roads are very slick right now.
And I will say, just now, we did have, of course, the viewers may have seen the bus right in front of us, the school bus. A lot of buses are going to be doing their routes right now, you know, for the city or for school. And you want to keep that in mind when you're driving this morning, especially because you don't want to, you know, suddenly run up on a bus that may be coming to a stop to pick up a passenger or a student. You know, you're already supposed to be cautious around buses when it comes to their bus stops, and usually there are signs indicating that this is a bus stop. But with these rainy conditions, you're not going to be, you know, stopping possibly as early as you need to be. So just keep that in mind this morning when those buses are making those routes for school and for the city.
For sure. And for those joining us now, we are driving on Market Street right now. Again, not much damage seen here from storm, if any. It's definitely slick on the roads. Are you feeling like this is anything you've not dealt with before on the roads before, Logan?
I'd say the rain itself is not something I'm, feeling comfortable in, but considering the drought that we've been in and how we've had so little rain, I'm definitely going to take my time getting to wherever I need to today. Just making sure everyone else is taking that into consideration, being a defensive driver, and just generally just keeping my eyes definitely on the road the whole time, making sure there's no sudden potholes that are covered by rain possibly, or anything like that. I'm just taking my time considering the drought we've been in.
I hear you.
During the rainy seasons throughout the year, you kind of get used to it, but here lately it's been very unusual how little rain we've had, and we're actually passing Battle Academy right now, which I was told was heavily flooded at one point. This may have been in recent years. So we're just going to keep an eye out, make sure there's no major flooding around Battle Academy at all. Which is, you should be extremely cautious because, there's students trying to get to class there.
For sure. And for those joining us now, we are also live on YouTube right now as well, live on Facebook, and we're going to be airing shortly on Fox Chattanooga. As Logan mentioned, this is a lot of rain and we haven't been experiencing it for the past couple of months, so it's kind of a refresher for this area as well because we need this rain coming down. And this is Dominique reporting. I'm here with my photog, Logan Stapleton. He was out here this morning in these conditions as well. Has the rain calmed down a bit, or was it this heavy this morning as well?
I think actually it's kind of picked up. Earlier this morning I expected a lot more rain than what I ran into this morning, but as the morning has progressed, I feel like it's definitely picked up. Just considering on the area that you're in, it may be different, but from what I've experienced, it's kind of been wishy-washy. It's been heavy in some areas it's been very light, but no matter what, that is still water hitting the road, possibly bringing up those old residues that have been there during the drought. And so yeah, I'm taking that into consideration when I'm driving, stopping, having cars in front and behind me, just kind of all around being a defensive driver.
For sure. And we mentioned that we haven't seen any downed trees, but to those of you on Facebook or even on YouTube, please reach out to us if you have seen any downed trees or downed wires, things of that nature. If you're experiencing any power outages, reach out to us and we'll look into that as well. We definitely just want to get an idea of what the storm damage is looking like in our area as we are entering this season that should pick up a little bit more with a little bit more storms. We are driving along Riverfront Parkway right now, I believe right now. Yes, Riverfront Parkway.
Yes, we just passed Finley Stadium that hosts the Chattanooga Mocs, and I've heard they've had a pretty good season. Recently they played Alabama, which I was actually at that game. And what we took away from that game, UTC said, was mainly just like the experience for the players and getting to be able to be on that field. This is a whole new generation of players. Last time they played them was in 2016. So yeah, just a whole new generation of UTC players. Some players kind of maybe grew up in that household where they favored Alabama. So for those players to experience that, I think is great for the Chattanooga community.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome experience. And when you're driving on the road, you gotta have, driving conversations. Is that what we're doing right now?
That's basically what I'm doing right now.
And Logan went to UTC. Are you a big fan of the football team?
I am. I was actually part of the program that held the ESPN broadcast for those games. So I was at every single game. Wrestling, volleyball, basketball, football. I mean, even golf. I did golf. Just stuff like that. Just keeping up with the sports for UTC and your, hometown team.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely want to see them. I mean, that was awesome to see them play against Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that's so cool to see Chattanooga just being recognized at such a high level. So it's only up from here for them, for sure. Let's see what we're riding along right now. So we're gonna turn right.
Yes, we were just on Riverfront Parkway.
Right onto what looks like MLK Boulevard. And one thing to note, very important, that Logan is not distracted driving. We have the phone in a mount right now. And for those of you on the roads, as always, you don't want to be on your phones when you're driving, but especially in conditions like this, you could slip around. This road is slick. Please have your phone on a mount and make sure that you are not texting and driving at all.
This intersection right here, off of West MLK, coming off of the exit 1B towards, MLK Boulevard, is definitely an intersection you want to be very careful with. Not only are cars coming down the hill, coming to a stop if it's turning yellow to red, but also there may be people crossing the road. You just saw somebody cross the road in front of us, wearing particularly dark clothing, so you want to just keep an eye out for those pedestrians crossing. In Tennessee, it is state law that pedestrians have the right of way when there is no signal active.
Was there any point today where you felt like you needed to have your high beams on, though?
Actually, there was. So throughout the city, I haven't felt like I needed my high beams on, considering they have lampposts throughout the city that are helping with the lighting on the road. But when I was going through those heavily forested areas where there were no lampposts whatsoever earlier this morning, I think the rain mixed in with how dark it was because there were no lampposts made me almost put on my high beams on, because I could not see farther than right in front of me. And something that I have considered when driving downtown, rain or dry, these intersections, due to the heavy traffic flow, you don't want to be caught in the middle of these intersections. Definitely on rainy conditions, when people are driving down the road and they may see a green light and they're like, oh, I have the right of way to go. You don't want to be caught in the middle because of the red light on your end, and possibly be hit by another driver just because they have a green light and you're stuck in the middle of the road. So right now, what I just did was I proactively, defensively, just slowed down, even though I had a green light, made sure I didn't get caught in that intersection. And shortly after I stopped, we got a red light, and that would have been turned green for the other people coming the other way in traffic. And I don't want to be caught in that. I don't want to be a hindrance to the other flow of traffic. So just stuff like that I keep in mind when driving in these streets, especially during these rainy conditions. I mean, that just adds a whole layer of hazardous conditions during, you know, the dark early mornings.
And we're getting news that on Astor Ave there may be some flooding, so we definitely want to check that out. Logan, would you like me to put that in the navigator?
Yes, if you would, please. Yeah, I definitely do not want to keep my eyes or hands off anything I'm doing right now. Driving, hands on the steering wheel, keeping my eyes on the road, just like that. I mean, just rainy conditions. You may have a green light, and then suddenly it turns yellow, and you're like, I need to slow down, or else I'm not going to have enough time to stop properly, especially with the slippery, wet road.
So we're going to actually switch our route and head towards Astor Ave. We probably have to turn around at some point.
Yes.
But we're going to check out that area, see what they're dealing with.
And I'm not taking the risk of making some crazy U-turn. I'm actually going to pull ahead a little bit, make sure, you know, the traffic behind me knows I'm going to turn.
Right.
And then turn here onto Foster Street to make that turnaround, because I do not want to take any risk during these conditions.
And again, for those of you watching along, please, if you have seen any downed trees, any issues with wires, please let us know. Contact us. You can comment below on Facebook as well, or even on YouTube, and let us know what you're seeing. We'll be back on Fox Chattanooga at about 7:33, so we have a little bit of a ride along with you all before we head live again on air. And I am seeing some water gathering towards the side of the roads, but again, the middle of the roads, it is wet, but we're not seeing a lot of flooding going on. Did you ever deal with some, like, maybe leaves on the road this morning?
Yeah, I saw quite a few leaves. Actually, where I live, there are a bunch of trees in the neighborhood. So last night, me and my girlfriend actually made sure to blow all those leaves out of the way so we don't run into them in the morning. And
because they can be slippery.
They can be so slippery, and we live on a hill too. Oh my gosh, I do not want to be caught slipping on those leaves.
And where do you all live out?
So we actually live in the Red Bank area, and our neighborhood is actually on a steep hill. So taking into consideration the rain this morning, we were like, we do not want to slip on these leaves. And, you know, of course, our neighbors also took that into consideration and tried to clear off those leaves out of their way. So, don't do that. That truck just turned left on a red arrow. So,
yeah, we're catching a lot right now.
Yeah, I think just so many people are worried about this rain and these conditions that they kind of, you know, don't driving right up on somebody, because I do not want to cause what could potentially be a very serious accident. I'm going.
Oh, we're about to go live shortly on air.
Okay, exciting.
Yes, Dane and Bliss, I'm out here with Logan. Logan, say hi to the...
Hello, hello.
Yes, he has been driving us very smoothly on these roads, but I gotta tell you, it's a little bit slick on the roads. What are you experiencing right now, Logan?
So right now I'm experiencing, here lately I've actually been experiencing some drivers, I think they may feel threatened by the conditions, because they're making some, you know, acute mistakes here and there on the roads. But that's something to keep in mind. I mean, you don't want to make those usual driving errors just because of the conditions out here.
For sure, and we're headed right now. This is I-24 westbound.
This is I-24
and we are heading towards Astor Avenue. We've been told that there might be a little bit of flooding in that area, so we're going to definitely investigate that tip. That area is towards Tiftonia, and as we were talking this morning about Thanksgiving, you know, there are storms heading north, so if you are heading that way up north to see family, please be cautious when you're on the roads. It is very wet out here, and the traffic will be heavy, so you definitely want to be looking out for those around you, and being sure that you are driving as carefully as you can. Dana Bliss, we're going to investigate Astor Avenue and see what we can find over there, but we'll send it back to you all in the studio.